is bothering me. For over 30 years, the pro-life movement has tirelessly fought for the value of life in America. Yet our culture continues to disintegrate into a culture of death. Before I share with you why our culture is in moral freefall, let's first look at a few examples of how life has been attacked within just the first 100 days of this new administration. In January, an executive order was signed to begin funding abortions in third world countries with American tax dollars. In March, Washington State became the second state to pass the Death with Dignity Act, legalizing physician-assisted suicide. In other words, euthanasia. And in April, the ban on federal funding for embryonic stem cell research was repealed. Why are Americans becoming more and more willing to support and spread abortion all over the world? Why are they willing to legalize euthanasia for the elderly and the disabled? Why are they willing to fund embryonic stem cell research with federal dollars? My hypothesis is that the seed of Darwinian evolution, planted in 1859, has permeated throughout our entire culture. And now America is reaping the consequences of replacing its original biblical foundation with Darwinian ideology. Ultimately, my thesis is that ideas do have consequences. Now you might be asking, how can ethical issues like abortion and euthanasia possibly be influenced by a scientific theory? Why, everyone knows that evolution is just a politically correct view of science, taught in public schools and believed in scientific circles. What's wrong with teaching that the universe was created by a big bang and that all life evolved from a single amoeba over millions of years of struggling for survival? How can a scientific theory possibly be to blame for the moral decay of today? Yet the social implications of Darwinian evolution are staggering, and I only have time to explain a few. First, abortion can be justified in the minds of many because according to evolution, life is the result of random chance without the help of an intelligent designer. And if humans are merely highly evolved animals, then there is no ultimate meaning or purpose to life. Neither is there any intrinsic worth or value in life itself. An embryo becomes inconvenient fetal tissue, and the mother has the right to dispose of it. Furthermore, the seed of evolution has also affected euthanasia. The Darwinian theory of survival of the fittest states that only those who contribute to society are considered valuable. If the elderly and disabled aren't working, if they aren't useful, then they are unwanted burdens, needlessly using up the community's resources. As Charles Dickens, contemporary of Darwin, once sarcastically wrote to his infamous character Scrooge, they had better die and decrease the surplus population. The seed of evolution has also influenced embryonic stem cell research. The defense for this research comes from the evolutionary philosophy of the greatest good for the greatest number. What's the harm in destroying embryos, someone might say, when the research will hopefully, eventually, maybe, be able to cure hundreds of diseases? Doesn't the end justify the means? I hope it is now clear that the seed of evolution has produced the justification for the evils of abortion, euthanasia, and embryonic stem cell research. For if man is merely an animal, why should he be treated any differently when his life is deemed by others no longer worth living? Now, a prominent historical figure who wholeheartedly believed in Darwin's theories of evolution was Adolf Hitler. Darwin believed that some humans are closer to their animal ancestors than others, and therefore inferior. And Hitler believed this idea of superior and inferior races, and carried it out to its logical conclusion. As a result, 11 million of these lower, inferior races, the Jews, the Poles, the Gypsies, the handicapped, were all cruelly murdered for the sole purpose of master race. Now the rallying cry of the Holocaust was never again will the world stand by and watch genocide happen before its very eyes. Yet isn't it rather inconsistent for us to think that genocide will never happen again if the root cause, the root idea of evolutionary philosophy does not change? In fact, an unrecognized genocide happens every day in America, when 3,000 unborn children are killed through abortion. Tragically, since 1973, more than 50 million children have been discarded in America alone. Now, imagine a tree that has been planted by a single seed that has now grown to become an established tree, ripe with fruit filling its branches. What is that fruit? It includes abortion, euthanasia, and embryonic stem cell research. And my thesis is that this fruit has been nourished by the insidious roots of Darwinian ideology that has slowly and subtly changed the perceived value of life itself from priceless to cheap and disposable. Ultimately, my thesis is that ideas do have consequences. As Christians and as supporters of the pro-life movement, I do believe that we must continue on our fight to educate our youth and the general public about the value of life. But my proposal is that in our education, we also begin to address the root of the moral decay, along with addressing the fruit, the specific pro-life issues. For when people start to view life from the perspective of a creator, they will know that all life is valuable at any age, at any stage of development, whether it is seemingly useless, imperfect, or even unwanted. This is the message that we must resolutely defend and consistently advocate, that one day we may reap a beautiful harvest of life. Thank you very much.